This is the most surreal fucking thing ever. I'm watching the flames on our street. Okay. Are you okay? Alright, bye. What the fuck? This is fucking crazy. Fucking hell, that's my street. And now it's on fire. I've never seen anything like this in my whole fucking life. The protests have now turned into riots. Camille is there right now. I'm fine, I'm in the south of France right now, but she is in the thick of it. Like, she can smell smoke. There's firemen down the street. Let's see how this progresses. Like, those are all the trash. Those are all the trash bins that have been on the streets, and now they're on fire. Oh fuck, is that Sunday in Soho? Look at these guys trying to get the trash off the street. That's our favorite restaurant. Camille just called me. She was like, we can smell smoke. There's firemen. It's fucking bad. That's not, oh fuck, I know all the girls that work in there. They're trying to put out the flames because it lit the restaurant on fire. Oh, that's fucking horrific. The air quality isn't great. She just went out onto the street because she was like, I could hear sirens and there was ashes falling. So people trying to smack in, okay, it looks like they put it out. It's gonna happen all night. And that's it. This is a really weird feeling. I've never turned on the TV and my district is on fire. Oh la la. Yeah, I'm just texting her now. It's surreal to watch this on TV. It doesn't affect me at all, but I'm thinking of her and but they've dragged a bunch of stuff into the street. Hey.
Hey, sorry, I got so much smoke.
Are you okay?
It was just this, yeah, no, I'm all good. I mean, it was crazy. I came down and it was right there. There was a massive fire in the street, right? But there was this young, like, 24-year-old who was there, and he was like, can you believe it? You live here? And I was like, yeah. So we started chatting, and then these two girls, like, stupid girls, like maybe 22-year-old, were just going out for a run, and I was like, where are you going? They were like, oh, we wanted to go for a run. I'm like, are you mental? There was the firemen, there was the CRS, which is the police officers, they were all at the start of the street trying to blockade the street. So we were closing it, but sometimes, and then this guy, so what we call the casseurs, so like the breakers, so they're the guys who, apparently there's, out of 800,000 demonstrators, like calm ones, there's 1,500 casseurs, so the guys who just burn shit.
Thugs.
You know, yeah, so they don't really care about the cause, they just do it to, like, there's loads of bins there, they haven't picked them up, so it's so easy to set them on fire. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so it's fine, we just inhale a lot of smoke, but yeah, it was mental. At one point, all the CRS just, like, so the police came, like, running, all with their gear and their things, and they just was following this guy who was taunting them, like, right in front of us. He was like, whoa, I don't know what he was saying. So they do that, they taunt the police, and then they charge. So impressive, they came charging down the street, like, I don't know, 50 of them. I felt like I was in a surreal, like, wartime, like, it was mental. It was crazy. I mean, there's a part of me that love it, because I love the police, the army and stuff. I'm like, you go get them, like, you go fuck them up.
It's like, it's not like it's wood they're burning. This is like plastic and trash and shit that's been there for 3 weeks. Like, this is
and we're just, like, smelling it.
rancid flames.
I honestly don't feel, like, scared in terms of there's so many police. Like, I think it's really...
It's surreal. It feels like I'm in an episode of Black Mirror. There's tear gas on our street. There's bins ripped open. Oh, it's the unions?
Like the main union of all the workers, and they always up the numbers. So they say 3 million, but then the police says it's more like 1 million. So you can never trust the fish. They always
I caught a fish this big. No, it's this big. Yeah. Is it the worst in our area? Or is it...
I mean, honestly, it's the worst. Yeah, it's all around the building.
Oh my God, there's tear gas near the wrecks. You're surrounded by chaos, not to...
Yeah.
Go to the Winchester and wait for all of this to blow over. Today's like a random Thursday. Is there any real reason why it's particularly bad today?
No, it's because, to have the right to demonstrate in France, you need to have a specific date that's been approved by the union and official demonstration day.
Goes without saying, but be safe.
Look, I have my own tear gas, I have my own, little thing, and I have a knife.
You've got a flip blade and pepper spray.
Yeah.
Kick-ass attitude, so you'll be all right. Mental to watch all of this. Like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. And the French don't want to work. They do not want to work. Not much to be done tonight. Maybe that's a bit better. I feel conflicted about the whole protests that are happening in Paris right now. Paris is the city of love, lights, and now protests. And I realize I am a foreigner in this country. I'll never know what it truly feels like to be French. So I guess my opinions are always going to be from an American's perspective. I guess you could say I feel conflicted about these protests. I really admire the French ability to stick it to the government and the motive to stick it to the man. But I also realize that the perpetrators of these events are the minority of the minority. They're the 1% of the 1%. These are just thugs that are out there to create chaos. But their actions discolor the positive protesting by the majority. I really respect how ballsy the French are when it comes to protesting. I love the fact that they remind politicians that they work for us. We elected them. They are our employees. And too often the power goes straight to their heads. And I love the fact that the French have a very unique way of restoring power. I also feel like it's incredibly important to see people rise up and push back against government overspending. And also, hear me out on this one, what if instead of talking about raising the retirement age, instead we start asking the uber rich to contribute more to Social Security? I don't know, that feels like a conversation that is long overdue. So is Paris safe? Well, to be honest, yes. The protests right now are intense, but at the end of the day, it's people just trying to make a point. And that point is the public is sick of the government overspending and handing the bill to the taxpayer. I guess on a positive side, they do take protesting very seriously over here. It's a national pastime, and they also see it as a national right. But also, is it clean? To be honest, it's kind of dirty right now, but they are beginning to clean it up. And I think something I'm realizing is that you're never going to be able to avoid the strikes. It's part of the culture over here. They're as natural and as common as croissants. Perhaps a better way to frame up protests is to treat them almost as like a fun event. Overall, if the protest is moving down the street and keeping pace, then that's pretty safe. It's when it stops, that's when you have to worry about it. If you start to smell that tear gas or that sour burning sensation, that's when you know you gotta get out of there. And of course, when the sun goes down, you don't want to be caught anywhere near a protest. They tend to turn bad. So there's a couple obvious places to avoid when you're in Paris when it comes to the protests. You want to avoid Bastille, République, and now these most recent protests, Place de la Concorde. That's where everybody is congregating. It's where most of the marches end up, is in those areas. So don't get a hotel in those areas. Don't stay in an Airbnb. You want to get out and away from those arrondissements. And I feel really confident about what the French people are doing, and I admire their tenacity to stick it to the government. I guess the only downside for me is that more often than not, the most effective forms of communication are often the most destructive ones. Burning in the streets, trash buildups, tear gases, flares, the kind of clashes are what gets the headlines, unfortunately. So if you guys had any thoughts on this, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'm dying to know what the rest of the French people think about these protests. There seems to be a divide, and for me, I'm always there for the people, and I think it would be incredible to see how this whole thing turns out. Hopefully there'll be a resolution in the next couple weeks. Anyways, if you guys like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Peace.